Can you hear
I
me?
guess I'm the only person that actually got their camera to
Is my,
work.
my camera working? I can't see
Can you
myself.
hear me?
Oh
Can you
my
hear
goodness.
me? Am I audible? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's the wrong video source. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, hey, there we go.
Yeah, how is
It's-
everyone? Welcome to our super professional, technically late. Is that what we decided?
Basunify, are you muted? Is your audio working?
Well, let's start.
Oh wait, oh there
Oh,
we
there
go.
we go.
Okay,
There it
sorry
is.
about
All
that.
right.
I forgot to turn on
Ah.
Phantom Power. That was
Yeah.
it.
Good thing you're not in charge of audio or anything. Hello and welcome to the broadcast team. Zeldathon Daybreak post Q&A. Yay! That was our dumb little bit. I hope you enjoyed it. So I have a whole bunch of questions that you all submitted. Unfortunately, I'm on my mobile stream setup today, so and apparently Mac OBS is different than PC OBS, as I'm learning. So I couldn't figure out how to get the text to have the same background and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna say the questions, and then if video team wants to overlay the questions on the VOD, feel free. So anyway, let's start with some introductions. My name is Clinket. I go by she, her pronouns, and I think I'm doing this correctly. Who are you? Legos Jedi.
Oh, hi, that's me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I forgot
Normally we can see the
That's right. We don't have program return today.
I can't give you program return today.
Hi, I'm Legos Jedi. I use he, him pronouns. Is there anything else to spiel about? I think that's that's it. I don't think there's anything else we need to say at this point, right? Cool.
And to Basunify.
Basunify, he, him is cool. I think we'll learn about each other quite a bit during this time. So let's pass it on. Is it this way?
Other way.
That way.
There you go.
Lucata.
What if we could like?
Whoa.
Perfect. It worked out.
Don't
Okay.
cross the
Yeah,
streams.
it worked
Whoa.
out.
Hi. I am Lucata. I go by he, him pronouns, and yeah, thanks for having me join.
Also, Lucata, are you on the right mic source?
I might not be.
You
Double
don't
check.
sound like you're coming through an SM7 now that I think about it.
Good
I
question.
don't get that deep, like.
Yeah, one of the big issues which actually happens is that the UA audio suite actually hates all of these other programs. So it might actually be messing up. So I might actually change over to something really quickly.
Okay, well, in the meantime, Luke, you want to introduce yourself?
While Lucata's fixing his audio, I'm Luke Zumicki. I go by he, him pronouns, and I am the lead broadcast engineer of Zeldathon.
Cool. So thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We got a bunch of your questions about broadcast and everything we do, and we got the pros here to answer it. And
Don't call us that.
And a
I
couple
feel like
of
that puts so many
cons.
expectations and implications there.
Yeah, you
We're
need
off
to
to-
know what you're talking about now.
the
Great
semi-pros,
start.
the semi-pros.
I'll allow it.
All right, let's see. What do we want to start with first? Why is my mouse scroll not working? That's really depressing. Okay. Let's go with favorite piece of new tech. Luke.
Favorite piece of new tech. So we have Blackmagic studio cameras from like when they first came out, and I don't like them. But we decided to rent the newer one. They came out with a newer one, and it just looks so much better. It doesn't have this weird green tint. Like the other Blackmagic Studio cameras have this weird like green tint that I cannot figure out how to make it go away. The newer ones, pretty good. Pretty good. We ended up shuffling that camera around basically the entire marathon for different things, like because we didn't want to use the other cameras.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely my favorite piece of new tech.
Yeah, so for awareness, we've had these how long ago did we buy the 3 Blackmagic cameras that we have?
Be a question
I don't
for
know.
MC.
Yeah, where's an MC?
Yeah, if MC's here. But
MC, can you go back in your
several-
Amazon?
We're talking like several years ago, before I joined the marathon. We bought these Blackmagic cameras, and like they have some things we like about them. Like we like how they're mobile for like stuff like Jam Train and stuff like that, and like the SDI in is nice as well. Or out, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not the broadcast person. But they have really bad light sensitivity for lighting. Their sensors for lights are just abysmal, and we never have enough lighting to make them look good. And so we decided to rent one of the newer ones this marathon, and it was so much better that we just kept moving it around to be able to use it instead of like the other Blackmagic cameras. So
yeah, don't get me wrong, they're great. Like there's a tally light so the talent knows which camera is live, and they connect to the other Blackmagic products, and it all works really well together. But the cameras, just that camera in particular, does not look good at
not
all.
by today's standards, no.
Yeah.
Basunify, you said you had an answer for this.
Yeah, so Campy brought his Rack 32, his audio console board thing. We've been using the Behringer X32 producer for
The producer, you're right,
yep,
producer.
for
Mhm.
quite a while, and Campy got a Rack 32, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna bring it over so we can figure out how to use it." And having a whole nother mixer added so much to the amount of things we could do, and some of the flexibility that was needed. But also, like it was Jedi brought his control interface too. It had, you could see it in the Jiggy mustache video. I was just flipping things around for fun on it while nothing was going on, so that was nice. And using those and like the tablets, you could like kind of customize the workflow to however you wanted once you're familiar with it. So, people found that it was handy to have like some of like the more macro type faders that would control big groups on one thing while going into like the individual inputs on the tablet, so you could scroll through. And then you even have some of the interface, like I liked using like the graphical interface of the Rack 32 itself too, to when you're setting in like compression and EQ and looking at like the RTA analysis coming up. So it was really nice to be able to, as we get more comfortable and everyone kind of like learns a bit more about with the tech, you can each person can kind of customize their own workflow for what's comfortable for them, which is kind of more into that teach a person to fish rather than just throw fish in their face, right? It kind of gets you more understanding
that's
of
how
I
the
want to do
saying
the
goes.
objective, not thinking, oh, I have to do the objective this way. So you can kind of think of how you want to approach a problem.
Now that I asked this question, I'm like, oh, we probably should have given everyone like an orientation, like a brief like overview on like kind of the tech setup we have. I don't know if anyone wants to jump in, just kind of like explaining the different stations we have, not necessarily going through a whole list. Like we have our tech room, which I don't know, I guess we should have prepared a diagram.
We could
Throw up
make
for now.
I can pull
whole
up the
video.
I can pull up the
Oh
H2R
yeah, you
here.
want to
Oh, yeah.
screen share the
Dude,
Yeah,
H2R
give
that
me,
big
here?
ol'
give me
spaghetti.
1 second to get that up.
Show
The-
everyone
the
what we're
s-
working
Yeah,
with.
that is actually spaghetti.
Yeah,
And
this
it's
is
what
fun.
it's the mental track you have to go through thinking
Yep.
about how things are getting in places.
So okay, let's see here. Yeah, this is
No,
fun.
actually, no, you can screen share it.
I can't though because of my two PC setup because my
Oh
camera is
my
plugged into my
God.
streaming PC, but this is my actual gaming PC.
Why my are we God.
like this? Why
That's
are
the
we
thing
like
about,
this?
like, the tech people. You think the broadcast people would have like, oh, easy setups, but no, like they're like the least plug and play type people. Everyone has
It's
like
kind of
something that's going into something that's going into something else. So
we were late. We were setting up this call because a bunch of people joined and their audio didn't work, and we were all sitting here not talking, being like,
Do you need this for a second so you can put like a full screen layout together or something?
Oh my
no,
gosh.
no. Well, you know what? I could. Wait a minute.
Because I'm not sure how visible this will be on your
Yeah,
end.
which
for
one
things.
are you? I think you're number 3. Hold on a minute.
I have no clue. This is all on
We're
your end,
gonna,
man.
yeah, we're gonna do some live editing here. Are you
This is
ready?
great. This is perfect.
Welcome
exactly
to the
what we wanna
broadcast
do.
Q&A, ladies and gentlemen. All right, there you go. Now you can't see what I just sent, but man, look at that.
Right.
beautiful.
So this is basically the tech diagram for Zeldathon Daybreak. I don't even think this is fully up to date, but like this is gives you a kind of idea of everything that goes into putting on this marathon. Each of these boxes here is a different piece of gear, and all these lines are all of the different connections between them. So you can see that, like, if we want to do game capture, we've got a frame meister that goes into an audio extractor that splits off into an HDMI splitter. They go into you could just go through and just trace the signal flow between everything. And this was kind of, I guess, revolutionary in a sense for this marathon, because before we had just been doing like Google drawings and just like dragging boxes and then connecting arrows between things. And like it was very much taking this multi-purpose tool that was designed for just doing any kind of drawing and trying to make it work for putting together a tech diagram like this, to then switching to something that was more purpose built for that use case. And so you can do things like, we know that we have, our audio mixer here that has 16 inputs, and we can say, okay, input 1 is going to be one of the shotgun mics on couch, input 2 is going to be the other shotgun mic, and kind of allocate things for specific inputs and outputs on pieces of gear. Where previously, like in using that Google diagram, we just had to say, hey, yep, this microphone's going into the mixer. But now we can say, we know that we have 16 inputs. And so if we try to plug 17 things into this, like, we can't actually do that in the software. It doesn't let us. And so we know we have to either get new gear or like redo and rethink how we're connecting some of this stuff together. And it's because it's more feature purpose and more purpose built for this specific use case. There are certain things that certain features that it can implement that make planning out all of this and how all the gear and all the equipment, putting it all together, just makes it a lot nicer and better to work with.
Okay,
No.
wait,
Yeah.
hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Lucata, did we not show you this before?
No,
Oh, no.
I came in completely blind and
Oh,
had
goodness.
to like visually see the full signal flow itself in each room.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna pull it back to the 5-shot scene.
But
Yeah.
to be fair, like that's, I guess, where we started though. That was
That's
the plan.
true.
And then when you get there and you realize, oh, like maybe things just aren't going to work the way, or we have to make some changes, move some, what we thought was going to happen in one place needs to happen in another place. Some
Mhm.
devices want to communicate differently, or we have to throw in a puzzle, like throw in a Zoom call or something
Yeah.
to someone.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is good.
I was gonna say, so like that big one in the middle, that was that new mixer that Basunify was talking about. That
Mhm.
was great. And we took the old mixer and we put it in the milk bar for the musicians. So that was we didn't just replace our mixer, we got a second one, a hold of a second one to be able to do all the audio stuff that we do. And then Lego Jedi, you mentioned also that you had a piece of gear that you wanted to talk about. That was your favorite new
Yeah,
piece
I
of
mean,
gear?
like, I feel like this marathon we started to utilize, but it doesn't necessarily like new gear per se, but taking advantage of some of our existing gear in ways that we hadn't before, in ways that we had talked about taking advantage of it, right? Like we talked about, we've got this new rack, this new mixer, right? But it's essentially just, you know, the same mixer that we have, just in a little bit of a different enclosure. So it's got all of the same features, all the same functionality. One of those things being, like we mentioned, the ability to control it with an iPad, with a tablet.
Something we could have been doing for a while. We just didn't
Right.
think about.
Right. And that gives us a whole other like bit of flexibility, because now we have now the actual control surface, the actual way that you control the mixer and interact with it is now portable. So I think a bunch of other people who are running audio would actually just take that iPad and walk into Stream Room to like listen to like the audio mix for coming out of the monitor and make certain adjustments from there, which you couldn't do before. You couldn't just get up and like walk to another part of the room and listen and try to make certain adjustments. In that same token, like this mixer, you can control it with an iPad, but if you are in like a concert setup and you have every musician having their own monitor mix, you can have every person have their, you know, like their iPhone, their mobile device, and have a control interface for adjusting their own monitor mix. And that's something that we could have done for a while. Just give the person, the game runner sitting on couch, that control interface for them being able to control what's coming out of the monitor. If game's too loud, they can make that adjustment. If donation sounds are too quiet, they can make that adjustment. You don't have to call it the tech. That's something that we, you know, could have been doing for a while, but it's, you know, that same sort of like just taking advantage and using more capabilities of the gear that we already have that, you know, we hadn't been utilizing before.
Yeah, definitely. So our next question, compared to working tech at other conventions and events, how does Zeldathon compare in difficulty? And Lucata, you mentioned you wanted to answer that one.
Yeah, so I have a background in working in live event productions for fighting game conventions. Mainly my experience is working with CEO and DreamHack. So one of the craziest and most interesting things about Zeldathon is the fact that it's very free form in regards to the amount and type of content which we put out onto Twitch at any given point in time. So having these more modular workflows, which for me, this being my first time working with you all and getting to experience it firsthand, is very, very different than saying, hey, we're going to have two people walk on stage, we're going to have A, B cam, we're going to need to have the presenter shoot up to this, and it's all set in stone before. Just being able to say, okay, cool. We, like Clinky was able to finish designing Milk Bar last second. We have a new set piece. Okay, we got to get camera A. We have to be able to use our TriCaster in order to push out new video feeds to stream, etc. And also being on the fly and being able to add like 2 to 3 additional guest mics for performers who wanted to sing during that time, especially during jam train. And it's, you always expect a fire, but one cool thing about working with Zeldathon is that you're always constantly in a little small fire. So
Yeah, you know what? That does sound like broadcast team, doesn't it?
Always on
Like
fire
always
a little
a-
bit.
always
little
just a
fire
little bit.
happening,
It's just
and
the
then-
this is fine beam, just like
Yeah, we're all running around with fire extinguishers.
I think even better for prepping in that kind of metaphor, knowing there's going to be fires, throw fire extinguishers in easy to reach places.
yes.
Some of the planning, like I was like, well, I think Jackson might bring his piano and put it here. So I'm just going to run these 2 cords here from the plug-in tube just if it happens, and hopefully try and let the other people know, because it's not just going to be me that's there. I'm going to be asleep for quite a bit of it sometimes too. And like, that's something I need to work on too, is with the planning, because, you know, I could plan something and have some like emergency fire extinguishers around, but making sure everyone else understands that they're comfortable with not only using the fire extinguisher and where it is, but they can adjust the fire extinguisher if it needs to be, and they can move it somewhere else if they need to be. So that's something for the future I definitely need to work on with documentation. and helping everyone be comfortable with it too. But it's dynamic, very fluid, like Lucado
Yeah.
was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Extremely fluid.
the milk bar, the paint was literally still wet on it when we started, and I was dabbing it with like paper towels and then like telling Zach Teep like, this is wet, don't be careful.
Yeah.
Is that what he was mixing in that scene? And
Well, that was actually paint,
yeah.
believe it or not. We didn't have milk. We made
Yeah.
watered down
He-
paint, but
It was all a
To
ruse.
be clear, what he drank wasn't paint.
oh, what he
right?
drank was milk.
Okay,
We
good.
had one bottle that was marked with real milk in it, and the rest of it was paint.
Oh man, that'd be a horrible lawsuit, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Basunify, you
I
mentioned
mean, that was it.
oh, that was what you wanted to go over as well.
Yeah, that's why I just kind of tagged on because I know you're gonna ask me next.
Cool. Oh, got you. I thought you were gonna bring up MomoCon or something.
Oh, well, that's another different. That's still Zeldathon craziness where you're
It's also fire.
you're not entirely sure how it's gonna go because sometimes maybe you don't realize that you have been set up next to an already going fire of arcade rhythm machines all day.
Yep. I have experience working with MomoCon since 2017, and it's always been the same arcade group there. And so the moment I saw the floor plan on Mars's on where you guys were going to be set up, I'm like, oh, you guys are right next to the arcade group. It's going to be hectic.
Soon, if I could ask a question,
Yeah.
since I've not been to a MomoCon, how does that differ from in-person Zeldathon? Because I would imagine that there's a little bit extra complexity because you have to mix not only for the stream but also for the audience.
Absolutely. There's this weird balance you have to find between the two of them. And it's not really easy to listen to both at once. Because if you are out, yeah, we can take the iPad, go out in front, but then connectivity becomes an issue in that space to the router. And, listening to, in front of the speakers, you're listening to what the audience is listening to, which is completely different for every seat, as you're going to move around, trying to find the balance between all of them. That's a compromise. And then you can't immediately throw in headphones because it's just way too loud. You got to go somewhere else if you want to try and attempt to hear what the stream's listening to. But also with that planning too, with, MomoCon, like you can plan for how it's going to be. You can sound check, but as soon as the event starts and all those arcade cabinets flip on and everyone starts stomping on those pads and flipping on those buttons and whirling those DJ tables, like suddenly it's completely changed. And then you just have to try and adjust for both in person and on the stream.
Yeah, the mix for the VODs of Piece of Heart actually sound better than in person.
Even if there is that weird going
Like,
on the whole time.
It was so loud in MomoCon that like, especially for like the musical performances, if you go and listen to the VODs, you'll be able to hear them better than you would have in person.
Huh.
That's how loud it was. But yeah, we'll try to prepare more. We're just gonna try and get a different place next time if we do another Piece of Heart. Just not be next to the arcade cabinets. So
Kitty.
let's see. Besides like the obvious Discord, I mean, I don't know. The question put some of these apps in parentheses, but I don't think we even used OBS Ninja.
We didn't.
No, we
No.
didn't. Like the question is, besides the obvious Discord, OBS Ninja, OBS, etc., what piece of software would you say helped the most for setting up the event? We actually didn't use OBS Ninja, so Discord wasn't. I guess we used it for communication.
Yeah,
but,
we used it
yeah.
for remote.
yeah,
segment
and
communication.
remote segment communication. But yeah, which software ended up being really helpful this marathon? Oh, I forgot to who am I throwing this to? Luke.
Let me tell you people about a wonderful technology called NDI. We used that so much during this marathon, and to, I think, a good success. There was a lot of weird delay issues, but we
Do you
used
wanna-
it in a lot of spaces.
Do you want
And
to describe what NDI is for the
yeah, so
uninitiated?
sorry. Let me let me explain. So normally you have a camera and maybe it's got HDMI or SDI out and it runs into a capture card or a video switcher or something, right? It's a physical connection. NDI is the network standard of that. So instead of an SDI cable or an Ethernet cable, it's now an Ethernet cable or Wi-Fi or whatever, right? The video transmission happens from a source over the network and then to a destination. And like that's how we ran the Milk Bar. That's how I ran part of Academy Awards. What else did we use it?
Did we use it for the VTubers?
I think, yeah, we used it for the VTuber stuff too. Yeah. Champ. NDI was a champ.
We love NDI. Legos Jedi, what was your favorite piece of software for this marathon?
I mean, it's what we talked about earlier, H2R Gear, being this new thing for planning out the marathon and all of the signal flow and how all
Oh,
the
that was
pieces of gear
the
talk
actual
to-
diagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
that-
actual piece of software that we used was immensely helpful in that early planning stage of just getting all that laid out compared to how we were doing things before. It really
Yes.
made it not a lot nicer and a lot easier to work with in that sort of pre-planning phase.
I wholeheartedly agree. I love that app. It's so good.
Yeah, that's my first time seeing it. It's really cool. Vacinify, what about you?
Kind of like first what we were talking about. Like they are it's like the obvious ones, but I think the less obvious thing is that we weren't using the obvious ones so much because there's just a lot of other ways to go about it that's a little less jankier, But then also going with a little bit what Legos Jedi was saying too earlier about using things that we've already used, but in a new innovative way, like we didn't really think we could think about before. For example, Discord for Jam Train, like Stone was just saying. We're like, hey Jackson, you have your sheet music up, and just screen share it. And a lot of musicians now are using tablets or a laptop of some sort or their phones or something to just look at music, because to be honest, trying to guess what key we're in and guess just doesn't always make for the best performance. So, Jackson just screen share on Discord and we all just can look off of his lead sheets when he pulls things up, which made that much, much easier.
So when it comes to, I'm going to kind of combine two questions in here, but for this event, while we didn't necessarily do the hub setup, we did have like a lot of different we had a few remote segments that we included in the marathon. So did anyone learn anything when it came to, after doing Ascent, when it came to planning for Daybreak and having kind of a hybrid event of some sort, and like what were we able to learn from Ascent that helped with Daybreak? Basunify? I think that was you.
I think one for me was making sure I could get the X32 to work with my computer. So like this time, well, I guess at Ascent, my computer was sending NDI, right? To from Lumpy Pumpkin to Skyloft. Was that? I wasn't part of that. I didn't make those plugins, so I don't know if that was NDI or not. But had to make sure the console was working with my computer, which took a minute. But this time it was nice because with everything else set up, when I kind of got to the whole Milk Bar and plugging things in, I was like, oh, I already had it installed on my computer. So that was one thing that I didn't have to waste a bunch of time on.
Do you think this marathon, I don't even know if I have an answer to this personally, but harder or easier than, was Daybreak harder or easier than Ascent? I guess this is a general question for anyone.
Oh my
That's a hard question to answer.
That's all right. Dramatically easier. Dramatically easier. I think something I learned from Ascent was the importance of testing, prep, and having a plan B, because our entire stream setup, like streaming idea, basically, we got to the locations that we were streaming from and streaming to, and it just didn't work. Like it just didn't work. We had to come up with something completely
Yeah,
different.
what was the name of the technology again?
SRT?
Yeah, we were trying SRT, and we actually did
Mhm.
test runs ahead of time to like make
Yeah.
sure the technology worked, but we weren't able to do the test runs from the actual locations for Ascent hubs. And the technology was great. Like it was going to be low latency for overseas, and like we were really excited about it. And then it turned out that Skyloft didn't want to work well with SRT.
Yeah, I guess like the internet, maybe the download speed, or I don't know. I don't think we ever really figured out what the issue was.
Yeah, I don't know. So let's see. I'm actually gonna go off script a little bit for some fun stories. Let's talk about some of the real on fire moments. What was your biggest on fire moment during Daybreak? Anyone can jump in.
Oh man.
I guess let's just start with Jig Academy.
Yeah, let's start with Jig
Oh.
Academy.
Yeah, the actual
Woo!
hotel fire alarm.
Yeah,
well, yeah, that did happen
that was
too.
great.
Yeah, that was an event. I mean, it was good. We pulled it off. I didn't think we were gonna pull it off, but we pulled it off. Oh, hold on a minute. What is going on? Am I dropping frames again? What
Seeing
is
some
happening?
hiccuping.
Oh, no. If it's any consolation, your
Um,
Zoom call seems fine.
Bruh, what did I do? I didn't even do anything, and I'm getting OBS red yelling, screaming at me.
No.
Calm down, OBS. Is it my network?
It's a bit.
I wonder if it's not a bit. This is not
Is
a
it
bit, everybody.
a megabit? A
I wish
kilobit?
it should be a gigabit.
Oh,
My AC is on. I have no idea what's happening. I'm dropping so many frames.
Uh-oh.
we're going back to SRT.
Do I have another device that's like trying to use the internet? That's trying to, what is going on? I love OBS. It's a really great program. Let's try this.
Lower the quality.
I just changed the bitrate to 3000 and it went to 7000. Okay, wait, I think we're back. I think we're
Oh.
back. I've got the
Cool.
green light from OBS.
Sweet.
What happened?
I don't know.
You know what? This is tech, everybody. This is what broadcast is you set up everything and it all works
Oh,
and then it breaks
gosh.
randomly. What was the question?
Oh,
On fire moment?
yeah, now we're on Jig
now.
right now. Yeah, but we were gonna talk about Jig Academy Awards, which
Gosh.
to set the scene on purpose, we gave Jiggy 6 hours of remote segments before Jig Academy Awards,
Mhm.
but it was still a very on fire segment.
Yeah, we were just trying to run around and figure out how to do things that we should have. We should have planned
Basunify,
better.
Well,
Basunify,
like-
tell your story.
I know myself and I know my weaknesses, and there's probably more. Probably, I guess that's a weakness of mine, is not knowing all my weaknesses. I should say. Good interview question, right?
Yeah.
So
Got the
I know I
job.
do best if I know what's going to happen. I take time by myself to write things out, write out a little drawing, and maybe make some little doodles and metaphors on it so I can know what's going to happen. I think through it and make sure I'm not going to make any dumb mistakes. And so, how's the Academy Awards going to work? Oh, it's going to be in this room. Okay, good. We're going to run things through this mic, through this monitor. We're going to put things here. Great. We need the Zoom call to go through this computer, but they need to hear this. Okay, that's a little tricky, but I think I got this figured out. And so I got up early on the morning of the Academy Awards, and I slowly went through everything, hooked it up, tested things, make sure that at least the audio side was going to work, so that, for example, when the Zoom call came in and you could hear it on stream, you could hear it in the room. There shouldn't be really any feedback. And when Jiggy spoke into the mics, everyone on Zoom should be able to hear it without hearing without hearing themselves back when they speak into, like, when Zoom people speak, right? So a mix minus, which isn't like just a one button push thing like they do like on a Lavo console, like in radio broadcast or something. So, and it was good. And then Jiggy's like, "Nah, let's put it on set." You know, how many hours before was it?
It was 3 hours before we were supposed to go live. We changed all of our audio signal flow
And
in order to incorporate it being on set instead.
and this is like, so we were using AES to do the audio, like Audio Engineering Society protocol for audio transport, AES 50, I think it uses for the two consoles. Basically, so you just run a Cat5 from one X32 console to the other X32 console, and you can assign different things, which is something that I think Legos Jedi was helped me on setup day figure out, because there was a lot of weird device syncing and stuff, and
Boy,
things
howdy.
weren't very obvious of how to make it talk to each other. But I could set up buses, like, so, oh, you want to be on talkback on Tech Room, press talkback and set it to this bus, and you can talk to the musicians' headphones in Milk Bar, and we could do things back and forth where so it was set in a certain way, and it boggles my mind every time I had to make a change, because it's just transposing numbers of this goes to there, that goes there, and you only have so many little digital buses you can work with until you have to start making some weird things happen. And that 3 hours wasn't enough for me to do it without making a ton of mistakes and just absolutely confusing myself and realizing why aren't things working. So it was, where was the, find the signal, where's it going to, why is it going here? Oh, I have to, sometimes when you want it to be on these channels, like, you can't just set one channel to an AES channel, like the whole row has to be AES to choose from. And so, like, managing, but the game is plugged into that one, so the auxes are assigned to that one, and so
There's a lot. Anyone else have anything on Jig Academy?
Luke, I feel like we had
to
struggles.
change, well, just for camera operations itself, we had to relay down, I think, over like 250 feet of like SCI. And so for Jig Academy, we changed the whole entire video feed routing to go into the Milk Bar to be our main control operations for cam ops.
Yeah,
That's right.
right. I remember this now.
Yep.
And in order to supplement that, we had to take the SDI to HDMI converters from Challenge Cam and route those additionally into the Milk Bar.
We had to undo so many things to get Jig Academy Awards working, and then redo that because we actually needed that gear elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
we should
My
have had a remote
goodness.
segment after Jig Academy Awards
Yeah.
to reset everything.
Yeah, we could reset. Yeah, man. Yeah, we ran. I think I plugged in my camera instead of using the Blackmagic Studio 1. And then we had the Blackmagic Studio 4K, I think, as the other camera. And we had to lay new cable from set to the Milk Bar, because Milk Bar was main tech, I guess, at that point. And then, like,
right.
God, that was, I have no idea how I did I think I did the job of like 3 people in that night. I think I aged 70 years. Well, we did it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it looked great. It went great. I just, aged 70 years in the process.
I remember, like, you had your headset on and you were like running around and you're like yelling the 2 minutes 30 seconds, and like MC turns to me, he's like, this is the most professional and unprofessional thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it absolutely was. I remember, because like the Milk Bar was a completely different room, and whenever anyone was talking in there, I'd be like, hey, I'm trying to listen to what's in there. Shh. shh. Like, because I could barely hear. I was listening for people saying, and the nominees are. I couldn't hear anything in there. So I'm just sitting at an ATEM like, did they say it?
Yeah. It's also because like although we have like the room door opening in order to enter into where set is, like where we had the ATEM set up for the video switching is you're just in the corner, like you can't, there's
Yeah.
no viewing anywhere.
Yep.
Like you're completely blocked off from anywhere.
Should've just
Any-
given you
yeah.
a head one of the headphone one of the musicians in ears because it was going to theirs.
We'll have to
Oh, yeah.
next time we'll prep better.
We'll
Next
force
time we'll
Jiggy
prep
to come
better.
up with a plan ahead of
And
time.
then we'll change it
Yeah.
before anyway, so
Yeah.
it's not gonna work.
But yeah, I remember like we played ads and then at the end of the last ad, I would look at how much time was left in the ad, get up, run to the main room, the set where it was happening, scream how long was left so that everybody could hear, and then run back to the ATEM and vmix in the milk bar and then cut the
Yeah, right
Yep.
there.
I'm
So
Yeah,
you're
bringing it up.
working from here. That doorway leads out to where set is, and that's the only like pass through to set. So
Yeah, that was nuts, man.
You were saying you had the question earlier, Clink, about favorite new piece of tech. I think favorite future new piece of tech is going to be some gear that we want to get to kind of rework our video infrastructure to make kind of this reconfiguring of where audio sources are getting sent to much easier and much more streamlined. I think what our plan is to at some point get a video matrix where you can just plug everything, all the cameras, all the consoles, everything into that, and then plug all the TVs, all the capture cards, everything into the outputs on that. And then we can just say, hey, camera one, camera on set is going to, capture the main tech computer. Okay, now it's Gacademy. This camera is now going over to the
Yeah.
video switcher for us to do Gacademy, and we don't have to rerun any cables. All we have to do is just go into software and reconfigure things. And
Oh, that would be so nice.
simplify something like Gacademy
Yeah.
Awards so much.
Yeah, that would be awesome, because then I would like I had to figure out how to get the Zoom participants on the
Yep.
set TV, and like if we had a video hub, I think that would have been a pretty simple thing. But
Yeah.
I believe you attached or hooked up your laptop, I believe.
yeah,
at
that
the
was
end.
NDI. I put on the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
I made a specific scene in vmix in the other room that I had to change every time there was a new like Zoom presenter.
Yeah, it wasn't even changing the scene. It's you had to change the actual like input source.
Yeah, it's untenable. It was untenable. I have no idea how I did it. Like
What a great word.
ridiculous.
we
But,
sat
yeah,
and talked for like an hour about how we were gonna try to fix everything, and then got dinner for 35 minutes, and then came back and actually did everything.
yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was. It worked. Hey, it worked.
Yeah, it
Howdy.
worked.
That's how most of our stuff goes.
And then we learn from it and know how to plan for it. Hopefully know how to plan for it for future marathons. Make it go
Yeah.
easier.
Or
go
at
more
least
smoothly.
set up things so that when we have, so that we can better be prepared for spontaneous
Yes.
changes, right? Like
Yes.
better facilitate the changes. I think is one of our big goals. Okay, so we also we're gonna get through all these like big crazy tech change issues parts that happen. So another big question is the VTuber segment. How did we do that?
How did we do that?
Should we
to be
set the
honest?
scene where Clinkett was like, oh, Freya, yeah, you can totally use your VTuber. That'll be cool. And then like maybe mentioned it in or in the broadcast channel once, and then didn't bring it up again until we got to Daybreak.
Yeah, and then we set it up like 2 hours or 3 hours before they were supposed to go on, because there was a remote segment happening before that.
Yeah, and
God
Basunify was
bless the
not
remote
there.
segments.
But I did ahead of time tell Basunify, I was like, I need a mic, or like, because we were setting up like so Jackson could play piano on the couch. I did ask him, and also to make sure it'd be good for like the VTuber, microphone setup. I didn't ask him to set it up for 2 VTubers though.
Right.
So that did change. We were like, oh yeah, everyone can be a VTuber. No.
You guys were doing the Blue Yeti, right? For that?
Sort of. The Blue Yeti was for the facial motion tracking, like audio response.
Oh, I was gonna
thing.
say, like, because it is dual capsule, right? So like, I mean, like, or even just like, I was like, oh, that's smart. Use bidirectional from it, because bidirectional, you get such a good null spot at the, between the positive and negative on like the on axis thing. So like, you can just point that null right at couch and not pick it up. And
Well, yeah, so we needed mics and cameras for both their personal face capture and for their VTubers, and then we also needed actual mics to pick them up for stream, and like the actual cameras to pick everyone up for stream. And then since they're 2-dimensional, right, we had to change the couch angle to actually make it work, so we could get that, Space Jam / Who Framed Roger Rabbit effect, which actually ended up, I think, being really cool. But that was like finding a camera that we could use that could get the angle, and then like being like, okay, all you in the back, you're gonna have to squish in. And then that room became a mess.
Yes, it did.
in reality
Oh,
and in
man.
virtual reality.
Yeah, I don't even know. Did they just send you their stuff via NDI?
Yeah, so I mean, I could sort of explain how it all worked.
Yeah.
So I ran around and panicked for 3 hours, and I think I called Basunify on your phone at some point because I
Yeah, I
didn't know
was
how to
driving
do
over,
audio.
I think.
Right.
Yeah, but so we have an Ethernet switch, like a 7 or 8 port gigabit Ethernet switch in the main tech room, and I ran Ethernet from it basically to Freya and Abra, who were sitting slightly off couch. They were we put a table over there and some chairs basically for them, and then they set up, and we plugged in Ethernet, and then they had, I think it was VTube Studio and iPhones for facial tracking, and a Blue Yeti for the audio response stuff. And then they sent their models through NDI back to the compositing computer in OBS. So I think while all of this was happening, Clinkett and Grant were like in the other room, also running around panicking, like getting good camera angles and like lights, and like moving the entire backdrop and set stuff over.
Yeah.
We did have to move everything over.
Yeah, we didn't even use the regular couch camera. I think it was your A6100.
Yeah, I didn't think that it was. I didn't want to try and put that at the right angle with like the stand and everything. So I was like, let's just take challenge cam.
Yeah.
And just use challenge cam.
Oh,
And
was
so
it my camera?
Yeah, it was your
camera was the hero.
A6100.
I'm using it right now.
Yeah. No, that was great because we picked it up and just put it over there.
Yeah, and then we were able to get a much better angle.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, do you guys know where my camera battery is? Because we can't find it.
True, we can't find it. It might
gave me
have.
the fake one so I could plug it in and still use it. on my
I gave him a
computer.
dummy battery, which is actually better for streaming anyway. But
today I was using it at work, and like it was saying that there was like a charge, like it's like 50%, only an hour and a half remaining. I'm all like, you're plugged in. Is it just measuring voltage? Like,
Yeah,
how does
probably.
it discover this?
Mine does that too when I use the dummy battery. It's like you have 25% battery
it'll
remaining.
eternally stay there.
Is that the power of my house that's gonna run out?
Yeah, your house is about to run out of electricity.
yeah, and there was another segment after. Oh, it was actually that was after the VTuber
boy.
segment. So
Yep.
fortunately, during that segment, we were able to and I don't even think we necessarily planned for this in the schedule because we didn't try to put remote segments after, but it worked out really well because while they were on the couch, we were able to remove all the backdrops and microphones and everything back into position.
Yep.
Oh wait, no, it was Super Lewis. We did have a remote
Yes,
segment,
that's right.
Super Lewis, and
Mm.
then actually, which I think we used, but well, we could only move some stuff because Monica and Rom Scout were using the couch to be commentary for,
Oh yeah,
for
right,
Lewis.
right.
So that was another okay. Yeah. Next segment that we have lots of questions about is, where is it? Okay, but how did y'all do that Danny day 3 transition?
I don't even know. I wasn't even in the room.
Neither
Lots
was
of
I.
running
I was
around.
even in that room.
So much running around. It was absolute chaos. Like the moment that video played of Danny falling back through time, like everybody on couch just hopped up, ran off. Everybody came back running back in to like take the place and sit where they were on day 1 and everything. And like it was a little bit it was like organized chaos behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
Transitioned out to the like the 5 minutes like little bit thing of not pre-recorded. I think some people thought it was pre-recorded, and then like there was actual like interaction or like, wait, no, the donation total is correct, this isn't pre-recorded or whatever. Danny did his thing to like song of double time to go back to day 3 again. Everybody hopping up, jumping off, all the original people coming back in, like more organized chaos. Struggling to get the 3DS capture working again. That's why there's a little bit of like a delay there between that sort of transition video ending and us coming back. A lot of running around behind the scenes that you don't see if you're just watching the stream or just watching the VOD. It came out really good. I'm
It did.
very
Yeah.
pleased with that.
I think as far as our like broadcast tech stuff, as far as the broadcast tech side goes, it really wasn't our most complex hair on fire stuff. More just logistically, it was really challenging. I mean,
Yes.
other than Grant trying to get the lights to work.
Oh gosh, the lights. So Plinkett comes to me for a couple of different things regarding this whole bit. First of all, you want lights in the background to make it like look ominous and everything. I'm like, yes, we can do that. That's easy enough. I just need to pull some lights that we we're going to use for Jam Train, which was going to be several days later. So like they weren't being used. That's easy enough to just grab them, moving them over to couch, and then put them back once we're done. That had its own whole set of challenges because there's a lot of like configuration that you need to do, right? All of the lights need to be plugged in, they need to be set up. You set them up to daisy chain into each other, so you can say, I want to have these lights, be red and be at 100% brightness, and they can just pass that signal along to every light in sequence. And if you're a smaller event like us, you don't have the ability to use the big fancy lighting consoles that you might see at a concert. So we use some good software and a good cheap little USB box to go from USB to DMX, the spec for controlling lighting in a more professional environment. And so I'm sitting there, half an hour before this bit is supposed to start, plugging lights in, like, yeah, I'll be able to do this in time. Things start working, and I'm able to do some testing with individual lights, because we also got some new lights for Daybreak as well. So getting those properly like figured out and configured and everything, along with utilizing some lights that we already have. And just like, okay, I can make them, slowly fade in, and I can have them be red, and like I can do like flashes for extra like visual interest and effects and whatnot. And then maybe like 10 minutes before we're supposed to do this bit, the lights stop working, and I can't get the DMX box to actually send any data to the lights, to any of these control signals to the lights. I'm like, I mean, we've got 10 minutes, I can probably figure this out. But and then it got to be like 2 minutes before, and I was about ready to call it and be like, Plinkett, it's not happening. I can't figure out what's going wrong here. And then I had one last idea of like, okay, whenever you create a new project in the software, it goes through a whole setup process with configuring and selecting what, piece of hardware you're going to use to interface with your lights. What would happen if I just did a blank, empty new project, went through that process to like get the software to reconnect with this device, and then reopened the original project I had set up for this whole bit? And I tried that and it worked and I was able to control the lights. I'm like, okay, MC, you come here. We're going to like army crawl across the floor to get these lights into position behind
We actually
behind
like
couch.
MC was brilliant. He was like, "Hey, you want to do the slideshow and talk about shirts or whatever?"
I didn't even know they did that. Oh
yeah,
my
so they
goodness.
switched to the slideshow
Oh,
over us,
man.
and so the three of us are like carrying these lights into position.
And keep in mind, these lights are all
Oh,
like still
man.
connected to each other through all these cables. So you've got to pick them all up together and move them as one into position. And so we get that going, and then it's like it feels like at that point it's like 30 minutes until the music, the end of day 3 music starts playing, and Danny starts to freak out, and I'm like, okay, lights are in place, let's go, let's just start doing this. And yeah, and then what happened is what you saw on screen.
Yep. Yeah.
With
It was-
the music in because that was Doug in there playing there, because like we were able to, with that AES connection from the console to the other console, like anything out of the the milk bar mixer, just that output would show up on a stereo fader, just that someone could move up and down, that was going out to the stream. And something I didn't really think about, that just kind of an interesting, oh yeah, it does that learning experience. The idea was in the whole 10 minutes when Doug started playing, I was just rising up the fader in the milk bar slowly to just kind of make it fade in. But I kind of forgot how the internet compresses everything through a tube. So especially with the way audio works when it's being compressed, to go and stream and then be reconstructed, so much gets chopped off with the lows, the most high frequencies, and then also with what is the most quietest things kind of get chopped off. And after it goes down to where you are listening, your computer is reconstructing it. But for a lot of that information, it's actually guessing. It's kind of an educated guess, and some things don't always come out the way they should. And that really is apparent, especially in the most quiet things. So even though I was like trying my best to, oh, my cats are going crazy, sneak it in as quiet as possible, what ended up happening, it got to a point where the noise floor was there for receivers at home, and it just kind of appears. Like it wasn't really a sneak in. It was just like, oh, suddenly it's there. And then it just got louder. So I was like, oh, I should have kind of thought about that and snuck it in differently, thinking about like, because the whole like first 6 minutes, even though it was there, data was being transferred, by the time it got to Twitch and back to y'all, it was completely reconstructed in a way where it's not even recognizable.
Yeah. I'm sure for a lot of you at home, a lot of this is also like, I don't know, pre-calc or calculus, or like
Super interesting.
It sounds like calculus or a foreign language, or like something you can't understand. So question for Lucata, since you were a new member of the team this year, coming in completely blind to what was going on. Wait, where did this question go? What was the training process for tech desk? Like, what was the hardest thing to let someone new figure out with the charity production?
I think whenever you go into a new space or you have a new role on a production team, the first and the most important thing is to know who your leads are and know who you're supposed to go to ask the questions which you need to get answers from. And so one thing which Zeldathon does very well is that they immediately let you know who is specifically handling certain things, whether it be like development for chat or for like data analytic metrics from Stone. And just those things themselves, I think, make the process of learning how the workflows for Zeldathon broadcast team a lot easier. What also super helped was because I have an audio production background, just Basoonify setting up all of the DCAs properly and labeling them on the digital mixing console itself made things a million times easier, just so I could walk in, because I wasn't there for setup day. So I came in we landed around 4 hours before Zeldathon actually began. So being able to walk in and just talk to Luke, talk to Grant, talk to Basoonify about how the workflow was going to work, and being able to physically see it, it was really, really convenient just to have all of these small little tidbits in order to work out things. I think for volunteer positions, doing live audio tech is always probably the scariest thing. So being able to switch the routing so that people on set can hear what they need to hear in the stream room, or so that the live stream can hear the proper feeds while not hearing anything on the other rooms or milk bar or in set, is something which is a little bit daunting for a lot of newer volunteers, but being able to have it all properly documented on the little dossier we had in front of tech was also extremely helpful.
And I would say it's nice to hear those things, but I will add that this is, if you were here a few marathons ago, it probably wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, so Luke and I think when we did, Mars had a remote segment in one of our hybrid events, I believe. And I believe Luke and I was the first test subject essentially in order to test out SRT during the time. In order to see if we could get a feed going and getting all the OBS Ninja feeds and connections set up. And I think during that time, it just really showed how hectic it can be when small things blow up.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think another thing we still aren't quite there yet to this extent, but for just the people on the audio board or on tech, and I honestly, in all of our different stations for this marathon, we tried to kind of specialize people in areas due to the lack of, we had a lower attendance than usual this time, so it kind of mixed up a little bit. But our intent, and I think we're going to continue this intent going forward, is to have team members kind of are able to get specialized. Are they tech desk or are they audio? Just so that they can really understand the station they're assigned to. And if something does catch fire, they feel, like they're knowledgeable enough to fix things. So that's another thing we're trying to work on. So we've got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to rapid fire some of these specific questions.
Let's do it.
So don't think about them too hard. All right, Basoonify, or anyone, favorite slider on the audio board?
The fart slider. No one found it.
Fart slider?
I didn't even think about it. Like you said, I just answered. Next
There
question.
was a fart slider?
I just didn't think. That's just the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, we, instead of a talk back, we had a cough mic. We had a fart mic.
No one found it. It was hidden.
Oh no.
Hold the button, be safe.
Grant,
Yeah.
since we are increasing our venue space and having different rooms and stuff, have we considered wireless SDI?
It's something that we've jokingly thought about in the past. There's been times where during Jam Train, G's just taken a camera off a tripod and just walked around with it. But I don't know. I think it's one of those recurring memes within broadcasting of man, if only we could just go fully handheld and be able to just walk around with things. Man, that'd be so nice. But there's so many ideas like that, and it's gotta figure out how to prioritize everything.
Yeah,
I
money.
see MC has put a dollar sign thing.
Did you know
Money.
where your subs and bits go when on the Zeldathon channel? No,
Yeah, can you
I
buy
mean,
me a
really,
Ronin
though,
4D?
I mean,
Thanks.
really, I'm gonna take a moment to plug it. We don't make any money when it comes to doing these events, but what we do use the money for our budget is trying to give broadcast team all the cool toys and gear and everything to make things even better, but then having to say, we don't really have money for that later, and being sad. Or giving them one thing they ask for, but not everything they ask for. If you want to help support us getting the equipment we need, subs and bits are a great way you can help support our budget and help us buy that Ronin. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no,
I mean, you joke, but I would love that thing.
That's like on the bottom of my to buy list.
Yeah, so we do appreciate all the support though, because it gets us cool gear, or it builds my trees, those sorts of things. All right, rough guess, if you were to take all the cables from this marathon, how long would it be?
Is this like a count the marbles
Like
in the jar? kind of thing?
7,000 feet at least.
7,000?
Over 9,000.
We've got so many 100-foot cables. I think we've got a couple 200-foot cables.
Yeah.
But then if you like take the
Just so
snake and you
much.
take out like
Yeah,
every single
Every single part of it. That's
Oh my
technically
God, no.
like 16 cables combined into one.
True.
And we have like 3 of those, even though we only use 2.
We could probably figure it out. We've got the inventory sheet.
I think
we could
Stone's
probably just
got
look
probably
through
the
it
right
and
answer. He
sum it
gaffed at
up.
all of them.
I'm not
Yeah,
doing
I
that
guess-
math. You can
yeah,
do it.
that's a lot of math. Okay, Basudify, Zeldathon, is it binaural? Mike, when?
Okay, so this is rapid fire, so I got to be fast. After doing some mixing for Dolby Atmos, my opinion on what is considered binaural, which is more of a summed up of like a surround sound going to 2 channels, so things are spatial where they should be for the renderer, rather than just a stereo mix is different. But we did have stereo mics in the back couch. I don't think anyone had the chance of, when we roll ASMR, if you can pan them out left and right, that'd be pretty cool, but it's, I don't think they lined up where we got to do that. So it's kind of there, but also no, because binaural, I think, in stereo technically are different. I don't know, man. Surround multi-channel's new. It's all, I mean, it's not new, but it's like, it's still a frontier, it's still a frontier that's not, completely standard.
All right. So the answer is not now.
It depends.
It depends. All right. I mean, I know people put their names on this, but if anyone wants to jump in, is there a cable, dongle, converter, anything that was the MVP for tech this marathon?
Oh,
Go.
Cloud Lifter. Not the Cloud Lifter, the D-Hummer.
Yeah, D-Hummer.
Rapid fire. Headphones. Usually you have left, right, ground. The aux outs of the X32 products are called impedance balanced rather than just a balanced TRS. I don't know why. Maybe it's to buy all our play sets and toys so you can buy their other headphone amp products. But what it does is it gives you ground, left, right. So it always ends you up with just one channel in your ear and whatever's going to ground in the other, which is probably inaudible before like the noise threshold. So this Cloud Lifter, this D-Hummer that was usually used to go from the computer to the board, or vice versa, and like kind of get the noise out by taking a unbalanced signal and making them balanced. We had it available. So by using that, somehow it just does all the flip around of inverting things and moving things over, that for some reason it took you plug it in and you only get one thing out of your ear. Well, now we plug it in and we could take and get 2 things out of 2 ears out of 2 headphones. It was just magic. I didn't even question it.
All right. Okay. So I'm making up this question too as one of our last rapid fires, but hopefully anyone can answer this. What if you could buy one piece of gear, like what personally, I mean, not necessarily what broadcast is agreed upon, but what is the one piece of gear, if money wasn't an issue, that let's not talk about money not an issue to an extent, but like reasonable within money range, the one piece of gear you would want for next marathon.
If money was not really an issue, probably a Avid S6 control surface. Probably being able to get a 64 channel modular, which can actually, it would also be able to communicate properly with
Oh
the
my
video surface we're
God.
looking at.
You're looking at it right now.
Massive.
You're
Like,
looking at it.
This
It's
is now
modular though, so technically, if you don't need it, the table is huge, but you just take out the Lego bricks of which you're not going to be using at the time.
Wait, so it's like a Lego?
It's
Sounds
essentially it's a table, and they give you all of the channels on these little bricks, and you just slot in which bricks you need for what specific project you're doing at the time.
That's so cool. We'll just tell MC we're getting a Lego set and then he'll buy it.
I hear tables and Legos, and all I can think of is
Yeah.
Jackson falling on it. So I don't know if that's gonna work.
Anyone else? Piece of gear.
I mean, I really just want that video hub. Like
Yeah.
that's it
But
for
you're
me.
thinking
That's
too
the next
small
thing
because
for
we're
me.
already thinking about getting that. Like,
I know, but what am I gonna be? Oh yeah, we're gonna get a TriCaster Elite, whatever it's called, video hub thing. What is it called? New Tech
Oh.
TriCaster 2 Elite. Yeah, the this thing is ridiculous. It's also like 50 grand. It's like buying a car.
Oh no. We have to decide between that and the Jeep.
the Jeep Liberty.
Oh yeah, we can't do Jeep Liberty. I'm sorry.
For me,
yeah.
like that DJI Ronin 4D would be fantastic to go wireless, to have the stabilization, and to essentially be able to also like use it as like a PTZ camera. Like we would get so
Oh,
much
we
use
never tried
out
that.
of a camera like that.
That's my
Like a
answer.
dream.
That's my answer. If I could get any piece of gear, I would get a set of PTZ cameras. That is what I want. But like good ones. That's what I want so badly. So badly.
I want a full pod, one of those pods we have. I want a full of them, full of Owens Corning 703 boards, so that Zeldathon and a Coic happens.
Yep.
It's special sound acoustic treatment foam that is expensive. Just
Fiberglass.
for those at home. What?
More than foam. It's like a
It's an insulation,
Fiberglass,
acoustic
yeah.
treatment.
It's
Yeah,
more
it's
than
insulation.
foam. It's an
It's-
experience.
That's the brand. More than foam. It's an experience.
All right. Well, that was as we were going through this, I was like, man, this is a good warm up for us to now think about maybe we want to make some better videos than just a random talk about it and focus more on things. But yeah, this has been fun. Thank you all for your questions. In tradition of now this being the fourth stream of this, so we have traditions and final one. I'm not planning on doing any more. We're gonna have one really I don't want to insult the person who asked it by calling it stupid, but one final
Yahoo answer.
silly
type.
question.
silly, there
fun
we go,
question.
silly fun question as our final question. And that question is, if the entire Zeldathon team was a taco, which ingredient is the broadcast team?
It's
And
gotta be the
everyone's gonna
shell.
have to answer that. So
It's got to be the shell, right? Because
Yeah.
if you don't have the broadcast team, you don't have a Zeldathon, right? You
Oh.
need broadcast to be able to manage all of the tech and get all of this stuff planned to be able to put on this marathon, right? If you don't have a shell of a taco, like what do you have? It's like a taco salad? No, but even then you need like tortilla chips or something for it to be considered taco salad. Like, yeah,
It's considering us to be the wrapper or something like that.
yeah.
We're
A
the,
support system, if you will.
yeah,
You
we're
hold it all
essentially
together.
hold it all together, and we're a finished product because it's wrapped and we can sell it now.
That's good.
it may have caught fire, but it's still
That's true.
I mean,
May
if you
have
catch
caught fire.
if you catch a tortilla like a crunchy taco shell, I mean, it's not gonna fall apart. It's probably just gonna get a little crispier.
And
But
it's a tostada.
Yeah, it just becomes a different different food entirely, you know.
I think we're the Uber driver delivering the food to your door, so we can bring the event to you guys to enjoy at its best quality possible.
Or we could be the food truck, like the taco truck driver.
We are
That's
the
better.
food manufacturer.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep going. We're the farmers that
We are
made
the farmers that made the meats.
We're big broadcast. And we're here to
All right.
Gosh.
Well, on that note, thank you for joining me tonight, and thank you to all of you who somehow made it through this whole stream. Hopefully, you found it interesting. Us talking
Yeah.
about
you
the
learn
real,
something.
nitty gritty stuff, and yeah, hopefully you learned something. And we do hope to maybe get some like more in-depth content over this next year put together on how we do what we do, which will be good not only for you to see, but also for us to actually get organized enough and to the point where we feel like we can make a video on what we do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I got. Anyone have any last words? Oh, we lost Basoonify.
Oh, we lost Basoonify.
Oh
Dang it.
no.
Oh,
Everyone's
Oh, no.
Oh no.
All right, I'm playing it out.
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. See
Goodbye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.